everyone, and welcome to our first episode of Her Point of View, the official podcast of her campus at UCF. I'm Emmy Bailey, editor-in-chief.
I'm Sabrina Hansen. I'm on our recruitment and writers team.
And we're your hosts. Our guests are
Lexi Dugard. I am your Her Campus secretary.
I am Brianna Roopchand, and I am the recruitment manager.
We are so excited to finally launch this podcast as a space for real conversations about college life, career, growth, and everything in between. Each episode will have a different set of students and her campus members to talk about their perspectives and experiences on what it's really like to navigate this stage of their life. This week's topic is, what is casual?
So exciting.
All right. What does it mean for a relationship to actually be casual?
You guys can take the floor.
Do you want to go first?
Okay. I don't think it's ever really casual. I think we say it's casual, but it's never that simple.
I think that it works in theory because it's just very rare to find an occasion where two people are equally okay with the idea of being casual. And it goes into what is, I think every person who even has an idea of possibly being casual has a different definition of what casual is.
Who do you think in a relationship typically is the one that leans towards wanting it to be casual compared to not?
Men.
Can we elaborate on that?
I think the men do not, they are often the ones that bring to the table of there's a stereotype of casual and the man asking for the open relationship. But I think a lot of the times also,
I mean, no, fair.
There is the stereotype because I think men are in theory scared of commitment, and I think the term casual is just a way to be like, oh, I want to keep you in my life, but I don't want to put a term to it, and it's like to give a girl something without having to require it. But I think also as you get forward into a quote unquote casual relationship, men often don't like the idea of the woman being casual in that relationship and not giving her full attention to that relationship.
Can I just say, I think that the terms casual and dating are antithesis of each other.
Yeah.
I think even if you're going on one date with one person and that's it, you just committed your time and effort, maybe money to get ready for that date and then to spend time with that person. So any dating is a commitment. If I think that any date is a commitment. So to be oh, it's going to be casual, like you're saying, so many different definitions of that. I think that we just need to remove casual and just say I'm dating. I think that I think to say you're dating implies a casualness about I'm not exclusive with this person. I'm not only dating this person. I'm not, when someone says that they're dating, I'm going to assume they're going on multiple dates, either with one person or multiple people, and either is fine.
But I feel also as an emotionally anxious woman, when I go on dates, I feel I'm already well, I'm going to get some emotional attachment of some sort. And so it's hard to differentiate that from being casual. And then in turn, a lot of men view casual as just a sexual relationship. But again, there is also that level of emotional attachment there. You can't get away from it.
The question is, does casual imply multiple partners as dating would theoretically?
That's what I was interested in, because you mentioned the concept of open a relationship, which I would never.
Oh, they're strongest soldiers.
Yes,
Not
brave
me.
people.
Not me.
I feel like situationships are pretty much just being casual without committing. And I feel like situationships have been more normalized than relationships.
And I think that's stupid.
I do too. I totally agree. I
take.
feel like people will be like, oh, it's a 6-month long situationship, but it's
Wrap it up.
why?
After a certain point.
I think also
I feel 3 to 6, 3 months to get to know someone. If you're wait, hold on, there's slow burns.
Emmy.
There's slow burners, obviously, but I feel if you're talking to one specific person and you're exclusive, what's the point of still being in a situationship for months on end? I think it's just an easier way for one person to dictate they don't want to commit yet they still want it to be slow, and it just slows everything down for everyone. Both parties are just dealing with different types of emotions. One person is way deeper in it than the other, and I feel when it comes to casual and situationships, one person is benefiting way more than the second.
Something that I also don't understand is this, oh, I'm talking to this person. That's just dating. That is just what dating should be.
So
Go ahead, Emmy.
that was my next question. How are we going to define talking, situationship, and dating? How are
I
three of
think
them
they're-
different?
I think they're 3 different terms for the same thing, because also like when you've been talking to someone, like Bree said, for like a period of multiple months, there's a disconnect somewhere, because there like is talking to someone not just having any stance of a relationship. Like you talk to your friends, right? The phrase you're talking to that person implies a level of like disconnect, because that like puts them on the same level as literally anybody else you talk to. I don't believe in the we're talking. Either you need to have at this point in, our modern society, people go into a romantic relationship with a purpose, and even if it is like something that develops from a friendship into a relationship, I think the idea that you can just have a casual relationship for months, and I think it can be done, but I think it is extremely rare to find 2 people who either form a relationship on the basis that we are gonna just be in each other's company but have a romantic underlying level, or have it develop naturally between friendships. But I think after a certain point, casual is just like denying or like not wanting to commit. And I think that's very hard to find in 2 people who are willing to share that experience.
I agree. Sorry, were you?
No, I was
Okay.
gonna say, as Emmy said, like as also an emotionally anxious woman,
I think we all are.
Yeah, I think we all like. I think a lot of women, a lot of people are just anxious in general.
Yeah.
Like
Mhm.
I couldn't be able to not have clear defined terms on things.
Absolutely.
I feel like the phrase talking stage is so high school.
It
It's like,
is.
I understand like you're just meeting someone, you're getting to know them, but the talking stage should really last 2 weeks at most. It's like you're going on a couple dates. And then it turns into dating. Like you're consistently seeing this person. But I feel like dating is just getting to know someone or multiple people if you're doing that. And then it just goes from there. But I don't think dating is supposed to turn into situationships.
No,
you-
it's
like what's the point? Like if you want to date today, okay. But like I feel like it's supposed to in a sense turn into something more if you really like this person and it's reciprocated.
and also when you date to date, like it has to have an end goal somewhere. So it's either going to turn into something serious or it's going to stop.
Yeah.
Or I mean,
Mhm.
it could keep going, but it's just going to keep going and going and going.
It
It's just a
plateaus.
cycle.
It plateaus.
Yeah,
exactly.
it's just a cycle until the cycle breaks.
Until you find a stopping point.
Yeah.
So then is casual dating for the sake of dating or dating for fun? I guess casual would then be dating without the end goal of a relationship.
I think that's fair.
Fine.
And I
Yeah.
think like casual to a sense too is sort of dating in order to find what you like. In
That's
order to
fair.
find
Yeah.
yourself. Like I'm dating I'm not dating. But I know people that are dating that are searching to just find out what they like in a partner.
There's also people who just date for fun. If you're not ready for that level of commitment, there is nothing wrong with like going around and dating multiple people. And I think that can be quote unquote casual, but I think you need to like make that
Be upfront about
be
that.
upfront, make
Yeah.
your intentions
But
very,
yeah, I
very
think that's
forward.
fine.
Mhm. No, I was just agreeing with like
Okay.
that exact statement. Like I think it can just be fun. It doesn't have to be high stakes. Like it really should just be low risk.
I think the thing though is there's like a big difference in the way that society and people will look at men versus women being casual.
I definitely agree.
Yes.
That actually was our next question is how does
Segue.
society view a casual relationship, especially as a woman, especially as a young woman in college?
I think there is like this weird like underlying level of like women aren't supposed to not be looking for a relationship. Because when I was single, I did that completely by choice. And I had wanted nothing. When I was single, I was working on myself and I wanted nothing to do with men. And yet there was this like expectation that like every man I talked to needed to be someone that I was pursuing. And yes, it ended up being like true. And I'm not a person that does casual, but there are I know plenty of people that do. And there is nothing wrong with women who have a desire to, figure out what they want in a date in a relationship or be exploring possible connection, not Love Island, be exploring possible connections throughout her life while or whether she doesn't want to commit to a relationship. But I think a lot of women are looked down upon by like society, whether they're, there's a lot of lovely decorated terms for women who decide to have multiple partners while trying to discover whether or not they want to be committed.
I think also for women, like the choice to not date too is also frowned upon and
Yeah.
unfathomable. People are like, oh, well, women are such emotional creatures and romantic. And all the stuff that they are always pining after whoever, like whatever man is put in front of them. And that's just not true. Like, I just, on a personal regretting, I just got out of a long-term relationship and I do not want to date.
Yeah.
And that's been really nice. Like, it's really, it's honestly so nice to talk to men without any underlying, and this is like on me, but like without any underlying romantic interest or tension, and to get to know men on a like human friend level, if that makes sense. Like
Yes.
before I dated, I was in such search of a relationship that I think that I really like that I everything that I did, not that I did it for all male attention, but it definitely was like, oh, I hope that he thinks I look cute today, like any guy. Or I hope that this laugh wasn't annoying, whatever. And now being without that, it's so freeing.
Yeah.
It's just really freeing. And I think that, yeah, whether women want to date multiple partners at the same time or not date at all, let women live.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Like when in high school, I was in a 2-year relationship and we broke up right before we like moved into college, like a week after we broke up. Like crazy. But it took me like almost a full year until I started like casually dating. And then it took me a full year after that to find my boyfriend that I am with now, who was a slow burn, but took 3 months to ask me out to be his
Oh.
girlfriend. Don't do that. If you know that you want to be with her, just
be
do
with
it.
her.
I would
That's true
commit.
too,
Yeah.
yeah.
But you need that time. That time just tells you so much about yourself and growth. But another thing is you're mentioning the pining thing. I do think it goes back to too is like we see so much in the entertainment industry of what it's like to be loved and how you want people to show up for you. And it's not that hard.
It's not hard
It's
at
not,
all.
yeah.
Oh my goodness. I know so many of my like girlfriends who'd be so much better boyfriends than their
I would
actual
be such a
boyfriends.
good boyfriend. It cannot be
It's
that
not
bad.
hard
It can't be
at
that difficult.
all.
Oh, I'm gonna get you food and flowers.
Like, I was
and
gonna
take
get you
out.
flowers.
Oh, I was, yeah, that's the
thanks.
worst.
Thanks.
Why
like,
did you even say it?
Why did you
Do
say
it or
that?
don't.
I mean,
Sorry, I was just gonna say, going off of what you were saying, just stop making women feel bad about how they feel what they want. Like, just leave us alone.
Especially romantically, like
yeah, like it's
It's
your
not your
own
business.
decision. It's none of your business. Just stop making women feel bad for wanting different things than what's culturally appropriate or like what society wants for you. Just let her be.
And do you guys feel like too, like I feel like in movies, it's always like the man is going and like finding the woman and this and that, but it sort of sometimes feels like in real life that it's the opposite.
100%.
Yeah.
But a man who yearns is a man who earns. Never
a
forget.
man who
Yes.
yearns. I mean,
Never forget.
I will say like there is like the very famous quote that's like a woman's heart is a lethal weapon, and I think people like assume that like a woman's role, like we have made so much progress in between, like a woman's role is not what it used to be, but there is still always that underlying like level of a woman's purpose is to fulfill someone else's life. Like you are supposed to be in a relationship. Like your heart is here to serve someone else. Your heart is a weapon for somebody else.
Mhm.
It's like women are always viewed as like some sort of addition to somebody else. So when you are like casually dating other people, people have that perspective of you of like you're not doing what you're supposed to. Like it's so taboo for a woman to be open about being casual and dating multiple people, yet a man can do it, and that's like what they're supposed to do. Like nobody bats an eye about a man saying like, oh, I want a casual relationship. Like I'm just in between like flings, I'm being casual, but a woman all of a sudden she is many words.
Kind of on the opposite of that, like that also, the quote also like hell hath no fury, like a woman scorned. Like I feel like, and don't get me wrong, like women, human beings, like we know revenge, we know vindictiveness and all this kind of stuff. Anyone can do that. But, you know, we often don't hear men being like afraid of when a woman breaks up with them and they're worried this is going to happen, this is going to happen. Versus a woman, I often hear my friends and myself who are like, well, I'm worried about rejecting this guy because I don't want to be put in danger here or this or that. And it's just this whole view of women are, like I said, women are so emotional, they're so visceral, they're so this and that. But like, I think
like
that's
going,
men.
Going off of what you said, I heard this quote, and it's like men view women as scarcity. How do you say it? Scarcity. Men view women as scarcity. No, sorry, I'm saying this so backwards. Women view men as scarcity, and then men view women as a plethora.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
if a girl's going through a breakup, she feels like kind of like the world is ending. Like I'm not gonna find anyone. No one's gonna love me this way. But men are just like, okay.
And I do think men can feel that way as well,
of
but
course.
yeah,
not
it's
disregarding,
definitely
they're still human. Yes.
it's definitely different.
There's
for
like a
sure.
tendency also though for it to like flip towards like there is like the thing of women as like the second a relationship ends, they are extremely overcome with emotions, as most women. There's nothing wrong with that. And that they're overcome with emotions, but then as like a few weeks, you know, there's the stereotype of you eat a tub of ice cream on the couch with your friends, and then all of a sudden, like a few weeks, so you're over it, like you move on. And then there is that idea that I've seen with men of like the second that they end a relationship, they're like, oh, I'm fine, like, you know, F her, and I don't need it, it's whatever. And then like as you get like a few weeks past that, all of a sudden they're like, damn, I kind of miss my girlfriend.
Yeah, they have a
Yeah.
backwards.
They have like the
process.
backward, like we have like reversed processes of dealing with the end of a relationship.
And I do feel like we have definitely discussed the topic of casual. And I do think it's still complicated.
Yes,
I think
that's so. Isn't that so funny that casual is a complicated term?
Mm-hmm. I think
when it's supposed to mean the opposite.
I think it's just because like we as you know people are wired to believe that you're supposed to like find like the goal is to find your match. So the idea that you're exploring multiple people at once kind of goes against like the perfect. There's always like your true love, the one for you, and like the idea of exploring multiple relationships at once kind of goes against like what you're supposed to do. And of course, there's the difference between can two people. How often is it that two people are truly okay with equally being at a place in a relationship where there is no intention to progress?
To wrap up, is there any final thoughts?
Yeah. I think casual is one person pretending they don't want more and the other person pretending that they're okay with that.
Oh,
that's a good ending.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much to our guests, Lexi and Bree. And thank you guys all for listening to our first episode of Her Point of View. If you'd like, you can follow us on our Instagram and TikTok at Her Campus UCF to get all the updates on our upcoming events and episodes, as well as follow us on our YouTube channel, subscribe, and we'll see you guys all in the next one.
Thank you guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having us.
you.